We're getting in there. We'll be live in 1 second. All right, now you're ready. You're live.
Okay, thank you.
We're getting in there. We'll be live in 1 second. All right, now you're ready. You're live.
Okay. Thank you. It is 6:46 p.m. by my count. Thank you, everyone. In the absence of Mayor Rogers, I would like to call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole of the Board of Trustees together on April 19th, 2021. Calling the roll. Trustee Denton.
Present.
Trustee Steve.
Present.
I see you, Trustee Steve. Okay, Trustee House.
Present.
Trustee Brown. Trustee Henyard.
Present.
Sorry, Trustee Holmes, I skipped over you. Trustee Holmes.
Present.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trustees are present. We have a quorum. Attorney Murphy, are you there? Check back later. Engineer, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Mr. Smith. Ms. Scott is informing that she will not be present this evening. So we do have a quorum, and I would ask for a motion to appoint a mayor pro tem.
A motion.
Second.
To appoint,
Trustee House.
motion by Trustee Holmes, second by Trustee Steve, to appoint Trustee House as mayor pro tem. Okay, we got that much done. All right. Trustee House, would you like to proceed? Thank you.
All right. Okay, Clerk Dugan, if we can, I think we need to do a roll call on that if that's possible.
You're quite right. Okay, motion on the appointment of mayor pro tem, Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
and Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay, now we're legal.
Thank you very much. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we can quickly, everybody. I pledge allegiance to
Allegiance
the
to
flag
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
Justice for all.
Okay, if I can ask Trustee Holmes, would you mind leading us in prayer, please?
Sure. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together under one umbrella. Father, we ask that you guide us, bring together, and thank you for those who are coming on board. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for our newly elected mayor. Thank you for our newly elected trustees and our former elected trustee. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you for that, Trustee Holmes. First order of business up is general announcements. Anybody having anything for the good of the group?
Hi.
How are you doing? I guess this is one of the last times I'll say Trustee Henyard.
Oh, yes. Thanks to these wonderful residents of Dolton. First, I want to say thank you guys for electing me the first female mayor of Dolton. I wanted to give a special shout out to all the elected officials that won their seats. Y'all have a new clerk. Her name is Allison Key. You have two new trustees and one returning trustee. That is chairperson Jason House. He won his seat. And then you have Kiana Belcher and Brittany Norwood. Those are the people that won the general election April 6th. Because I know that the I would say the village did not put anything out to tell y'all who won this upcoming election. So you just heard it from my mouth. I won for mayor, Tiffany Henyard, Kiana Belcher, Brittany Norwood, Jason House, and Allison Key for clerk. That is your new board. We will be sworn in on May 8th, you guys. Mark your calendars. Let me slow down for those that's getting a pen. May 8th is the swearing in of this new elected board. It will be at Dolton Park, which is up the street. I'm going to say 712 Ingle for those that just need an address. And it will start at 4 p.m. You guys can bring your lawn chairs and come and enjoy this wonderful festivities. I'm saying festivities, yes, because it's an outing due to the pandemic. Everybody been kind of in the house, but it's going to be really nice. It starts promptly at 4. So please come and watch this history in the making. Take your photos with myself and the new board and just have some fun. And if you guys got any concerns or questions or anything, inbox me, email me. I got Facebook. My name is Tiffany Henyard on Facebook. Or you can also email me at thehenyard@vodalton.org. Again, thank you guys for electing me. I won't let you down. I'm ready to serve. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements, trustee. And any other announcements for the good of the group?
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to clarify, Trustee Henyard, Mayor-elect Henyard, just to confirm, I was informed that the swearing in was going to be at Needles Park, but you're saying it's going to be at the main park?
Yes, it's at the main park.
Okay. I had, on behalf of Attorney Murphy, sent an agenda to everyone for that proposed meeting. Please review it. I'll make the correction for the main park, but do please review the proposed agenda for May 8th. So that he can make any changes that you desire, but I will change it to May 8th, 4 p.m. at Dolton Park.
Yes. And I did get the email. I'm reading it here. Needles Park, 142 in Minerva. That's too small for us. We're going to do the main park. So anybody that wants to come can show up.
Okay, Dolton Park, main park at 4 p.m. May 8th. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just want to clarify, at the last meeting, I had announced that we were going to have a zoning hearing at 6 p.m. today. That has been rescheduled because of notice requirements. So I did send everyone on the board a copy of the notice, and we will be mailing the required notice.
So anybody wants
I'm sorry. Say again. Okay. Aside from the May 8th meeting, there will be a meeting of the village board on behalf of our zoning board to consider a zoning area variance at 15700 Maryland, 15700 Maryland, which is a residential property, and they're asking for variances on the setbacks requirements for that property so they can acquire proper title. I did send a notice to everyone. That notice will be posted. So just FYI, before we get to May 8th, on Monday, May 3rd, the last business meeting of the current board, there will be at 6 p.m. a public hearing, which means that anyone who has an issue with the proposed variance is welcome to set that before the board. And via Zoom, of course, as always. And you did receive, trustees, a copy of that notice, which has also been published as required. So instead of today, my apologies to anyone who was looking for it at 6 p.m. tonight. It's Monday, May 3rd at 6 p.m. via Zoom as per the usual board meeting. And then the swearing in will be of the newly elected officials on May 8th at the main Dolton Park at 4 p.m. Saturday, May 8th.
Yes.
Got it.
And to add to that, I don't know if that's you, but I think it's Giovanni, to add who won the election, the general election. Can y'all post that on the via website? in our Facebook page, myself, the clerk, and the 3 trustees. I know I asked about that right after the election, but no one posted anything. So Ed, I don't know if that's you, trustee Steves. Can you guys add that so the residents will know who won the election and what's going on?
That would be me initially, but I will send it along to the communications director, so it will be posted.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I don't have no say so over that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any further comments?
Mayor Pro Tem, this is Chief Mobley. I have an announcement.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, good evening, board, elected officials, citizens, residents. Just to give an update, it will be on all our social media posts, the village website, and the different channels. As you know, the trial for the murder of George Floyd, a announcement will be made sometime this week. And we're preparing for a possible civil unrest. It won't be the first time we experienced it. We experienced it last year. So once you get a taste of it, you kind of know how to prepare for it. Just want to let the residents know that if it do come our way, if we get any information, that we will be blocking off the entrance and exits on Sibley. We will do the Dolton side. Calumet City will take care of their side, just as well as South Holland, Lansing. So basically, and Riverdale. So basically, all the surrounding borders, we're working together to protect our community, businesses, and residents as a whole. So I will put something out. I talked to Giovanni earlier today. She'll put something out first thing in the morning. Basically, we put it out Friday because we didn't know what was going to happen with the shooting in Chicago with the 13-year-old young boy that was involved in that incident. So we made it through the weekend without any civil unrest, and we're going to pray that we make it through this week and this weekend without it. And if people want to protest, they do it peacefully and not tear up our own communities. So I just want to give that heads up to whoever's watching the board meeting, and it will be put on all our media outlets and platforms.
Thank you for that update, Chief. Any further announcements for the good of the group? Hearing none, next we're going to go into administrator's report. Clerk Dugan, you mentioned the administrator is not going to be with us this evening.
Yes, sir. Okay,
so then we'll go right into our order of business. The first thing up is the presentation of our annual financial report, also known as our annual audit by Lauderback and Amon. This is for the fiscal year 2020.
I will defer to Mr. Mirabali on that one. I see you present, Chris.
Yes, I'm here. Lauterbach is in attendance, so they can speak, and then if there are any questions, either Jen or myself can answer them.
Good evening. I am Jen Martinson with Lauterbach and Amon. Hopefully you can all hear me.
Jen. And...
Oh, sorry, I think you're breaking up a little bit there.
I can hear you.
We can hear you, or I can.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that's better. Okay, yes, good evening. So as you mentioned, I'm here to present the annual financial report for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2020. I do want to start by thanking Chris and the rest of the team out there for all of their hard work during the audit process. As he knows, it's definitely a long process from start to finish. And it really takes a coordinated effort of teamwork for us to be able to complete the audit. So we really appreciate all of the hard work that goes into preparing for that. So really the goal of the audit is for us to be able to provide an opinion on the financial statements. And we have done that. We have issued an unmodified opinion, which is just a clean audit opinion. It's really the highest opinion that we can issue and just means that the financial statements that are presented this evening fairly represent the financial position of the village or in other words, are materially correct. That opinion can be found on page 1 for anybody that wants to find that. But I am going to point out a handful of key pages throughout the audit report, and also kind of talk through some of those highlighted information on those pages as well. So don't feel the need to flip, but if you want to jot down those pages throughout to go back to later, that would be great. That first section is management's discussion and analysis. So this starts on page 4. It's really just a handful of pages, a nice narrative summary of the financial information to follow. So if you look, that report in front of you can be a little daunting. It's about 130 pages. So this section really breaks down that report into 10 nice, concise pages, just discussing the highlights, again, in narrative form. So just a little bit easier to digest. You'll also find some year-over-year comparative information in that section as well. So I would suggest if you read anything to spend time on that section. To point out some of those highlights for the year, on pages 19 and 20, you'll find your net position, so your statement of activities with ending net position there at the bottom. And overall for the village, net position decreased about 84,000 with ending net position deficit of 54 million. Just to remind everybody, these statements do include your long-term liabilities, as well as those net pension liabilities and capital assets. So moving forward to fund balance, or really what the board is used to seeing on a monthly basis, on pages 25 and 26 is where you'll find your income statement. This is your fund balance for your governmental funds. And really there was an overall increase then for your governmental fund balance of 2.9 million for the year, with ending fund balance of 9 million, of which approximately 4 million is a deficit unrestricted balance. Moving forward to your business type funds, which includes your water, your recreation, and your sewer funds. On page 31, there was an overall increase in that position of 1.6 million, bringing the village to a positive 728,000 for the year for ending that position. From there, you'll see a handful of pages throughout the audit report labeled notes to the financial statements. This is quite a bit of information throughout there, just some key highlights in that section that you can find. You'll see your long-term debt summaries, capital asset detail if you wanted to see the activity for the year, as well as the more detailed information on the pension funds for your IMRF pension liabilities, police, fire, as well as your other post-employment benefit liabilities. So you'll see a lot of detailed information there. One other section I do want to point out is towards the back, starting on page 102 and continuing on to page 108, is where you'll find your budget to actual schedule. So you'll see your original budget, your final budget, as well as your actuals and where the changes were for the year there. We did not note any funds over budget this year. I do also have another smaller report that everybody should have received labeled management letter. There were no new comments that were added to this letter this year. So I did want to mention the implemented management letter comments. So there were quite a few that were implemented this year, including a capital asset policy that was approved. We saw a huge improvement in the support that was provided for us. So missing invoices was also implemented. The funding for the pension funds was implemented, and then funds over budget, as I mentioned, was also implemented as there were no funds over budget. Additionally, I would be required to communicate with the board this evening if there were any difficulties during the audit, disagreements with management, or any other red flags of that nature, and I'm happy to say that there were not. So overall, it was a clean audit process with that unmodified opinion and some good progress towards implementing some of the management letter comments this year. Happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Any questions from the board?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So overall, from your vantage point, we're doing okay. We're doing okay financially as a village. I got the email. I was going through what you were saying. I have to really read it. But overall, we're doing okay.
So there's definitely been improvements made. I know there are still some concerns in terms of cash flow and some of those deficit fund balances. As I mentioned, there is overall, if you look at page 21 and 22, you'll see your fund balances there laid out, and the general fund specifically, which would be the village's operating fund. There is an unassigned balance of 2.6 million deficit. So there is still definitely a little bit of concern there, but I would say significant improvements. If you do see on page 25, that fund balance did increase in the general fund this year of 2.1 million. So Chris can speak to this a little bit more if you want to add anything, Chris, but we are definitely seeing improvements.
Hey, Chris, before you go, did I hear the term significant improvement?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to throw that out there. All right, Chris, go ahead.
So the one thing with fund balance, that is really what the village has to operate. So the village has a lot of fund balance that's restricted either due to debt or cash that cannot be used for general operations. So that's why we have a 2 million deficit unassigned. That's the portion that can be used to fund just general operations that isn't restricted. The way fund balance works as a mathematical concept is you first take restricted and then committed or non-spendable, and then whatever the difference is, that's your unassigned. So because we have so much restricted or non-spendable fund balance, we have a large deficit unassigned fund balance. But overall, we're doing a lot better. Yay!
Yes, definite improvement.
Trustee Steve, any other questions?
No. I know that's been a point of contention as far as the financial reality of the village. So there's new administrations that's coming in. They're inheriting a pretty decent budget. I remember the last time Lauderback and Amy came to the village, he did a presentation. This is before COVID, and he said, "I've been doing this for the last 6 years in Dolton." He said, "This is the best I've seen the village finances in." So we have to improve, true indeed, but we're making the progress. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
That is a great way to put it, yes.
I do have one question there for you. I know in the initial email it mentioned that we wanted to have this discussion just for the clarity of the board and the residents. This is a discussion on the budget, and then on our next meeting, we will be voting to approve the audit results. In the initial email, it mentioned you wanted this to be distributed to the board, but wanted to wait until, I guess, is it approval, or at what point in time will this be available that we can have the residents also take a view, as I'm sure there may be some residents that love financials and have additional questions.
Yeah, we typically do not ask that you post those financials to your website until it has been approved by the board. So we want to make sure that approval happens before sharing. But of course, if there's any questions after that, we're happy to address as well.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from the board? Hearing none, I want to say, Ms. Jen, thank you very much for your time, and we're going to continue on with the agenda.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You as well. Okay, and the next thing we have on our agenda is the purchase of a new server for the Civic System software. Was there anybody that could speak to this?
Yeah, this is Derek. I can speak to that.
Okay, if you can, please feel free.
Yeah, so we received a quote for the new server for the new software. The price, the list price of the server came in at $16,120. They have some incentives, end of quarter discounts, and a lot of things going on right now that they offering, which brings the price down to $5,890.25. That price is good through May 14th. So you need to make a decision on that by then. Otherwise, the price is going to go up. We don't know what it is because we don't know what incentives or anything that they may have after May 14th. And also, they let us know that the price of hardware is going up as far as memory and processors and everything is going up across the board from the manufacturers. So it might be a good idea to go ahead and jump on this. That's a big discount on that server. And also another benefit of that server is there are a couple of older servers in the village that need to be replaced. This server is big enough that we can virtualize it and consolidate those older servers into this server as well. And we can save without having to, spend any more money to replace those. So we definitely need it for the new software, but it's a benefit for the other servers that we need to replace. And the discount is huge right now.
They question Derek. They say price is going up on memory right now.
Price is going up on memory and processors. Yeah.
Did you verify? I mean, you verify that to be true, or are they just saying that?
Now I've heard it from other vendors as well. This is Dell, but HP and IBM are saying the same thing.
Okay. Well,
Okay, any further questions from the board? Okay, and Derek, I do have one question on it. So the server itself, is it normal that we would need to have a new server for purchase of a new software? And I also heard you mention, I think where it makes sense that some of our old servers are outdated. So it sounds like we were gonna need a new server whether we got the civic systems or not. Am I correct?
That is correct. There are a number of servers, but there are several servers that need to be replaced. And none of the servers that's there meet the specs of the new software. So we definitely need one for the new software anyway. But like I said, we can consolidate a couple of those other servers into this server as well and save there.
Okay, that answers my question. Any additional questions of the board? If not, hearing none, I just want to do a quick poll of the board members. Are we okay with moving this forward to the May 3rd agenda for a vote?
I'm okay with it.
I concur. I'm Trustee Denton here. I'm okay with it, Trustee Brown.
I'll take no response as an okay. Thank you, everybody. I think we got enough of a consensus to move that one on. So we're going to move on to our next item on the agenda. Request for a Class A property tax incentive, 801 East Sibley. I see this is put on by Mayor Rogers. He's not present. Was there anybody that wanted to introduce this in his absence, or will we hold this one?
Trustee House, this is Adam Dotson. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Sure. Let's see if I can get my video on here. You see me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Was everyone had a chance to get the request letter and the application also as part of their agenda packet?
It was distributed with the agenda.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our client is Allison Walker, who is the owner of Cactus Ranch Properties. And this is her first Hewitt Jackson location, and she chose Dolton. Obviously, there was an opportunity to open up a location within the territory. And she happened to find this building. I think it's near the high school. And it's a 2,000 square foot building. But one of the issues stands at this property. Right now, taxes are proposed at $50,000 a year for a 2,000 square foot building. That's almost $4,200 a month that you have to come up with for a small business operator. By getting the Class 8, we might be able to get the taxes down in the $20,000. So that would put her in an area where she's probably spending around $1,500 to $1,800 a month on taxes at the location. If you look at our letter, it indicates what taxes are per square foot. Without a Class 8, we're talking $25 a square foot. That's pretty high, even in any standard in the south suburbs. By getting it down, we can get it down to $10 a square foot, which is manageable enough for Ms. Walker to continue her operation there. She is making some improvements. The building does need some work. And as the weather gets better, that she will start making some exterior improvements also. But one of the things this issue at hand was the roof, and they needed some work on the HVAC immediately. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have regarding this project.
Okay, any questions from the board?
This is Trustee Brown. What did he say the current taxes were?
They're proposed at $50,000 a year for that 2,000 square foot building.
Any further questions?
And One more
Okay,
thing.
hearing none from the board.
Hold on, Jason, one thing. So it's $25, he's saying, per square foot, but if they get the class 8, it'll be $10 per square foot, correct?
Which you are correct, which is approximately $20,000 a year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I think I lost my connection. Is everybody here?
Yep.
Okay. So was there any further questions from the board?
No.
All right, hearing no other questions, I'll see. I would like to ask if there's a consensus to move this forward to May 3rd agenda.
Say let's move forward.
I agree.
Okay, I'm in agreement. I'll take silence as a move forward as well. So
yes,
we'll be moving.
I agree.
Thank you very much. We'll be moving that one forward next. And thank you for the presentation, Mr. Dotson. The next thing up on our agenda is repair of fire hydrants. Again, this was put on by Mayor Rogers. Was there anybody here to speak on this item? Deputy Chief Rush, I see you.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm not sure
Hey,
what the
Deputy
mayor.
Chief, I apologize.
Okay.
I was late and unmuting myself. I just want to clarify the consensus of the previous item. I heard Trustee Steve, Trustee Henyard, Trustee House, Trustee Brown, and I thought I heard someone else. Was that Trustee Holmes?
Trustee Denton.
Okay, you're right. I heard Trustee Denton initially. So let me clarify. Please correct me if I'm wrong. On the Class 8, 801 East Sibley, Trustee Denton, Trustee Steve, Trustee Henyard, Trustee House, Trustee Brown. Anybody else?
Trustee Holmes.
That's what I thought. Okay, so we have a general consensus. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Madam Clerk. Mayor Pro Temp, I'm not sure what the mayor's intent was with this particular item. So therefore, I don't have any information on it, but I can perhaps answer any questions that anyone may have regarding fire hydrants in general.
I think at the moment I do not have any questions.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Are these the ones that have been down?
I can only assume these are the ones that are in need of repair.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not sure what the mayor's intent was regarding this issue.
Yeah. I know there's one that they were highlighted this last election, so we're voting to fix these.
I think it was quite a few that need to be repaired, especially the ones that are totally non-functional.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Okay.
This is Trustee Holmes. I have a question. Are we looking at the complete village of Dolton fire hydrants, or are we just looking at the ones that we see or that are not functioning now?
From the last conversations we've had, we were targeting the ones that are non-functional and the ones that are in like high residential areas such as the valley and things of that nature.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I know one thing I do know is I remember before COVID, I remember when JB Pritzker got in, they passed that big capital bill. And one thing we got approved for was for money to do all the fire hydrants. So I can check with the village administrators just to see where we are with that.
From my understanding, that particular grant is due June when it closes out. And then the selection process will go from there.
Yeah, and if we get that, it's money for all the fire hydrants, right?
I don't think it'll cover all of them because we have over 400 hydrants.
Yeah.
What do you mean the ones that are needing repair?
Okay. Okay.
So I'm sure it will put a good dent in the that process.
Okay.
Okay, any further comments on this item? Thank you very much, Deputy Chief.
You're welcome, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, and last but definitely not least, 4th of July fireworks. Mayor-elect Trustee Henyard, what you got for us?
Yay. Okay, so some good news, guys. I have been working with all our body of government, which relates to the Park District School Board 148, 149, and 205. So we all have agreed that we want to bring the fireworks back. So the plan is to bring the fireworks show on July 3rd, which is that Saturday, and it will be at Thornridge Football Field right here off of Cottage Grove. And we are seeking $5,000 to put down for the fireworks show on the 3rd. And I thought that'd be a good way to let residents know that we heard their cries. And due to COVID, you know, everybody was cooped up in the house coming out of quarantine, and due to the pandemic, just something to do, just to show community, yeah, we still exist and we're gonna start rebuilding. So I just want to get a feel from the board of how y'all feel, what do y'all want to do, and I'm taking all suggestions.
This Trustee Holmes, I agree to move forward with it to highlight and do whatever we can, enhance the quality of life.
Okay, thank you, Trustee.
Sounds great, Trustee Henyard, but the $5,000, would you explain that part again?
Sure. Right now, it looks like it's going to cost anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. Right now, they're going out to get different bids, and each body of government is going to pitch in something. I don't know their amounts as of yet. I know that I just want to hold the date and hold the space so that we'll have someone to come out, because you know everyone do their fireworks show either the 3rd or the 4th. The 4th was on a Sunday, so I figured the 3rd would be better because I know TF North does it over here in their football field in Calumet City, and then you got South Holland as well. So all the surrounding people hire the same exact fireworks show company. So I just wanted to get a handle on it ahead of time, because we're going to be equipped for time like 2 months out, because right now it's April, and then you got May and June, and then July 3rd, pretty much.
Okay, I'm in agreement. It sounds great. Can't wait.
Yeah, thanks.
One question, Trustee here. This is Trustee Brown.
Sure.
Where will we get the funding? Are we able to fund it, or where will we get it from?
Well, right now we are able to fund it due to the budget. I'm not asking for the complete $15,000, $20,000. I just figured that if each of us can take something out of our budget to fund it as relates to each government body. So far, the parks on board, so is 205. I just don't know their dollar amount as of yet. So I just wanted to hold the space by us putting down the down payment.
Thank you.
Okay. I can say I think it's a great, I'm sorry.
I meant to say in the library. I keep forgetting the library board, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, no, I'm in agreement. I remember the fireworks shows from years past. I think it's a great idea, and I think the residents would certainly enjoy.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm agreeing. I'm in agreement with it.
Okay. Okay. So my question to the board is, we don't have another board meeting until May 3rd. Can we do a consensus as it relates to the $5,000 to put down on it? Once I get the amount, the agreement from the 3 companies, I can send an email to everybody. That way we don't have to wait till May 3rd to put the down payment.
One question. So we're going 5,000 right now, so we don't know what they're going to do. Now, say if they say, well, we can only do 2. We have to. If they don't cover the remaining balance, will we have to cover the remaining balance if they don't put enough up?
Well, if they don't, I was gonna just poll the board and ask everybody to come out their pocket. But if not, I'll figure it out myself, because I do want to do it. So whatever we short, you can count on Mayor-elect Tiffany Henyard. I'll pay the difference if the board don't want to chip in and help with the difference. I know we kind of short on funds. I do get, but I'm just asking for the 5,000 now, and then I'm pretty sure the government will hold up to their part. Because right now, just the agreement till we get how much it really costs. I did tell them to pick the lowest package. I didn't tell them to pick nothing expensive. So if it's between $15,000 to $20,000, of course, I'm going to pick the $15,000 package, which normally consists of a 45-minute show. I'm not trying to go any longer than that. And then from there, they'll be out for an hour, 2 hours, meaning residents, till we clear the streets back out.
And I know, the library board has it, so.
Yeah, I know, right? I hope they take the bulk of it, but you never know. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to speak for them. I just know that everybody's on board in agreements that they want to do it. So I'm happy that Thorn Ridgeman and School Board 205, which y'all know Stanley Brown sits on, they all agreed that we can have it housed there. Because normally it's at Dolton Park District, which is Cleo's park. Well, he's the president. I don't want to say it like that. Cleo, don't get me. So they built a new early learning center and they didn't want to have it there due to their building. So we talked to 205, Nina Graham, Stanley Brown, and they all agreed to put it there and also give funds as well. But I'm just waiting. They got a board meeting, I think, this week to talk about the amount they're going to give.
Okay, one thing. So we're talking about the park district, the library, the school board, and the village. All are in conjunction with the fireworks show, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do we have any paperwork from any of these other folks or no?
No, we don't have anything yet. I know Cleo and them just sent it out today, actually, as relates to 2 different quotes, because I think it's only 2 companies that actually do the fireworks for the surrounding south suburbs. So once they get the quotes back, I'm gonna email it to the board, and then everybody can pick, or I was just gonna pick the lowest amount, unless y'all want a higher amount. By all means, it's up to you guys, and then we'll just pay. But we got to put something down just to hold to secure the date is what I'm concerned about.
Okay, so with the 5, are we just putting the 5 down or is collectively?
Well, yes, we are just putting the 5 down. Now, all of them are getting board approval, because they all got board meetings like this week, next week, and then they'll tell me the dollar amounts that their board agreed on. Hello?
Can't hear you, Jason.
No, it froze. Trustee Brown?
I hear you, but we didn't hear Jason.
Oh, okay.
We didn't hear what Jason was saying.
Trustee House? I don't know where he went.
I think he's the one that's froze.
Oh, okay.
Trustees, can you guys hear me?
Okay, now we can.
Now we can.
All right, okay, I have to switch my wireless network. All right, so any further questions?
No, I guess we're good. I mean, as long as it's collectively and everybody is agreeing to pitch in, then it shouldn't be a problem. And that we can spare the 5,000, correct, Jason? I'm sorry, Trustee House, I apologize.
That is going to be coming up on a new fiscal year. So technically we will not have an official budget. However, in years past, we've had more than 5,000 allocated to special events. So I would anticipate, or I believe that we'll have more than that in this coming budget and still be able to maintain. So that's the line that it would come out of. So that's a long-winded way of saying yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just want clarity, so I make sure everybody understand and we all in agreements. So I'm going to get the quotes for the fireworks, and then once I get it, I'm gonna email it to the board, and then the board can give me a thumbs up as it relates to yes, proceed, and then we can pay the bill. But I'm not gonna advocate for the money until we get the quotes, and then everybody agree, and then we will send them the money. Is everybody in agreements with that?
Clear.
Okay.
And 4.
All right.
I'm in agree. So I think that concludes that issue. So if there's nothing further on that item, I think next thing up is citizens address. So if I can, Derek, we've got a newbie on citizens address. So if you could work with us and read off any questions or comments from the great residents of Dolton.
Yes, I am a newbie to this. So first question, am I just reading questions that say citizens address, or am I reading every question that's in there?
Read everything is in there. Some of them may be comments. If they are comments, we will, there won't be a response. It'll be for the good of the board to hear feedback. Anything that may be considered use judgment on anything that may be considered personal in nature, because we want to make sure that it's all on village business. So if it's something that you feel is personal in nature, send me a message through the chat feature, and then I'll kind of work with you to decipher it. But outside of that, any statements or concerns that residents have, we want to hear them. And if there's a question, we'll pause for a response.
Trustee House, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes,
if I may interject, since I have been recording the comments on the chat box, and I hope you have been reading them, I would seriously ask you to reconsider what you just said and ask questions that are labeled citizens address, because there are voluminous comments on the chat box that are not labeled citizens address. And as Giovanni has explained before, they seem to be interpersonal comments between people that are posting.
Okay.
And so if you would ask everyone who wants to comment to the board to label it citizens address, I think that would help Derek and all of us greatly. And if necessary, I will post everything that's commented, but a lot
I
of
appreciate
that
that.
are on there are not directed to the board trustees.
Well, thank you for that. I will take that and in agreement. And so for clarity, if you can, Derek, we'll read into those that say citizens address, and I will ask any residents if they want the comments to be read or responded to, please put in that it's for citizens address.
Thank you.
Okay. So the first citizen address is, who are the new mayor and officials?
Not mine. Not mine.
Okay, the newly elected mayor is Tiffany Hinyard, our current trustee. For the clerk, there will be a new clerk who is Allison Key, first time. So we want to thank Clerk Dugan for all the work she's done over the years. And for trustees, myself, I've been reelected as a trustee. Kiana Belcher has been elected as a first-term trustee, and Brittany Norwood has also been elected as a first-term trustee. And I think a great group of people. And then we also do not want to leave out our trustee Deborah Denton, who's retiring. So she will be missed.
All right. Next question. What department should I address regarding having a fence erected behind KFC on Sibley? I live in the first building behind KFC, and the noise from the drive-through is disturbing.
In terms of a fence being put up, the village does not have the authority to put up a fence on what will be considered private property. The owner of the KFC is the decider of it putting up a fence or not. If there are issues as it relates to noise or trash, you can direct that to the village hall. You want to speak with, I would say, our administrator to begin with, and then they can decipher any tickets that should be issued to the owner of that property if they are for cleaning up and to make sure that they are proper citizens that they should be.
Okay. Next question. Will you guys consider a permit-free holiday?
A permit-free holiday was something that was done in the past. I'm sure all things will be up for consideration. So as the budget gets laid out, I think more of the ideas will be brought into the fold. I see Trustee Hinyard, I think you're on mute, so we can't hear you. I don't know if you were commenting.
Okay, no, he was answering, but yeah, Jason, Trustee House, he's real big on the money, but that would be great to bring back. That's something that I initiated about 2 years ago. I know residents loved it, and it was your way of telling on yourselves and telling us what work you was doing, because we was able to come in and check to make sure it was done properly. So I would love to entertain that again with this new board. It is on the table, just for those that's asking.
Okay, next question, sir. Derek?
Okay, yeah. So the next question says citizens address. And it says, what will y'all do about the whole crooked Dalton PD and a few be drunk on the job?
I would say that everybody in the village is expected to do their jobs, and the chief oversees, and he will make sure that that job is done. I think he's been doing that currently, and we expect that to be done moving forward. Chief Mobley, I don't know if you have any comments.
Yes, I do. I don't know who's making that comment, but if anyone identifies or suspect any personnel of the police department being intoxicated or under the influence, they should report it to myself immediately. I have identified employees that have came to work intoxicated, be it from the night before, and they were sent home and suspended. So if this is something that you've seen recently or know that's going on, please feel free to email me or the next chief that comes in. That is something that is not tolerated. And if you experience someone coming to your residence to take a report, or if you just think something is out of character, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you for that, Chief. Okay, Derek, next question.
Okay, this one says, my comment about the sewer drain and fireworks are in fact public / citizen address. So I need to scroll up and see what this person said.
Also, Derek, if you see something I'm looking at, you see CA. Some of that, people didn't put whole citizen's address, they just put CA. So make sure if you can catch them too.
Okay, I'll have to go back to those. So in regards to this one, I think the first one was, there is a square manhole cover not covering a sewer drain on Greenwood Avenue near 15436, Greenwood south of 154. Someone could break a car axle if they ride into the hole.
Okay, what was that address again?
15436 Greenwood.
Greenwood, okay. And I don't believe I see Matt on here. Is anybody from Public Works present? If not, I'm gonna take that address down. I will be sending a message out immediately to Matt to look into it and get it corrected.
Okay. CA, why the website is not being updated with current information?
No, the website gets updated with the information provided. I'm not sure what the process is, and I don't know, maybe Clerk Dugan, if you can advise, or Trustee Steve, you may have comments. I'm not sure what the process is for updating the website or what information.
Usually you send it over to the communication director and it gets put out. I can find out, I can stop in tomorrow and see what's going on. But that's the normal process. You email it to the clerk and to the communication director, and maybe they got behind or something like that. But it should go up,
Okay.
I can speak to that as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I email information to the communications director to post. I do not respond to requests for information to be posted unless it's something that I feel the communications director should be posting. Let me clarify that. I do not control the communications.
Okay. Thank you for that clarity. Okay. So
okay.
Next question up, sir.
Next question. Can we get a couple update on all new members of the administration on the website?
I'm certain that will be taken care of. I would like to say it'll be done within this week, because that will be ideal, but definitely by the time the new administration comes in, I'm sure it'll be up.
Yeah, one more thing. Usually on the website, there's a spot for all the elected officials, a little bio, their phone numbers, their email address. So all that will be, I know after the election, all that has to be updated. So I'm sure she's just gathering information now to post it, but you usually want to wait till the new elected officials come in. So my goal is to help out where I can to make sure that after the swearing in, everybody's information, their picture, everything that's needed to update the website will be there.
Thank you, Trustee Stephen. Just for clarity, that question, I was assuming that the request was for maybe a post or a blast to be given out to the residents with the names. But if it does require, if in terms of posting on the website, there is more logistical information, photos to be taken, phone numbers, and other items. So I think there's more to be considered. But in terms of posting the information of there is a new board coming in and the names, I think that hopefully can be taken care of quickly.
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, is part of the May 8th. And notice the special meeting that will be included.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next question. What is Dolton qualified immunity for our police department? Is that a union problem?
Okay, Chief Mobley, can you elaborate on that?
Okay, could you say the question again, Derek? I'm sorry.
It says, what is Dolton qualified immunity for our police department?
There is no immunity.
I don't know if maybe something missing from the sentence or something.
Yeah, and it seems like something is missing from that statement. So okay. if whoever sent that, if you could be a little bit more clear on that and resend it to the citizens address box.
Okay, next question. What is the business for the Class B property taxes?
Okay, well, that's a Class 8, and that the business is a Jackson and Hewitt tax or accounting services on the corner of Sibley and Cottage Grove. I'm sorry, that's Chicago Road. Which one is that over there? Sibley and Cottage Grove.
Okay. What is the plan to stern all the violence and killing in our town?
Can you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry, I think it kind of broke up.
It says, what is the plan to stern all the violence and killing in our town?
So I think that's a multifaceted approach. Of course, we want to have our police presence as much as possible. So we want to get more officers to help support the officers that are out there. We do need more block clubs, so that way community can all work with one another. So I think there's going to be several different approaches, and as the new administration comes in, I'm sure that more details will be laid out on that.
Okay, next one.
If I may add, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir, please do.
Yeah, as you said, I believe it's a negative outlook on law enforcement, but I've always been a stickler for community policing relationships, and no matter how you feel about the police, is when you're in need, you call us. So we want to build that relationship up, whether I'm here or not. I know Chief Collins, he's on the same page, and we want to build that relationship up. We need you as much as you all need us. And as far as killings, as of to date, we had 2 homicides, the recent one being Sunday, which is the same number of homicides that South Holland has. They had one where they located a body today. So as quiet as they may seem, it's going on all around us. So I think our numbers have been good. Like I said, the stats have been steady or decreased. Um, and it's just a time and nature where we live in, where nobody respects the police, and it's the younger generation. So, like the Mayor Pro Tem said, with the increasing police presence and along with the community help, we have to do this together. That that will stern or steer it out of our community um, as best as possible. I think the message that we want to send is that don't mess around in Dolton. Um, People come to the community, your own community, and throw garbage out the window. But if you go into some neighboring communities, that won't happen. Why is that? So it starts with us, each individual. It starts with each individual taking a stance in their own community. That's it, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Okay, this one says trash tree mountain on lot at Lou, Boudre. I don't know. When will it be removed? Thanks. I don't know what. It says at LOUBODREAAU. Is that a street in Dolton?
Yeah, it's Lou Boudreaux, right by Greenwood.
Okay, so it's the trash tree mountain there. They want to know when will it be removed?
I am not familiar with that, so I would say we have to look into it. I think we have to take that kind of under advisement. I know as the new team comes in, that's one that we need to document. So I will put that down for something that for follow-up. If the resident would like to put their email address or phone number for follow-up, I'll be glad to follow up with them. I see Clerk Dugan, and you've come on. Yeah, you may be able to enlighten me a little bit more.
Yes, I had a response to that. That's at 142nd, close to Park Avenue. If you look, that's a vacant property which the village has needed for use of depositing tree stumps and other garbage. Not other garbage, I'm sorry, other, sorry about that. Thought I was gonna get away with that one. Other tree and compost, and it's quite a pile. If you're not familiar with it, just drive down 142nd Street before you get to Park Avenue. And if you're going west, just look to your right. And that's an issue that we've heard from the residents before. And I'm going to go on mute and take care of the other mute problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that information. So that is something that will be up for the new administration and the Public Works Department to work together, find other alternatives for waste disposal.
Okay, the next question. I live at 14924 Grant Street. My concern is the alley and the garbage that's dumped right across from my door. I've seen the fire hydrant repair proposal. Is there funding for cleanup?
Can you repeat that address for me, please?
14924 Grant Street.
Okay, and the concern was about it was for the alleys, and I didn't hear the second part.
The alley and the garbage that's dumped right across from the door.
Okay, I'm gonna take that address down. I will include that along with my request for 154th and Greenwood, the manhole, to go over to Public Works. If the residents would like for a follow-up, they can put their information, email address or phone number if they would like. Well, no, I would not say phone, email address for a callback, or they can reach out to me, 708-625-1125.
Okay, next question. What about the hole on 144th and Murray? Has been there for about 2 weeks and no signs of being repaired. Hazard cones have been smashed and are not effective. It's a hazard.
Okay, I'm gonna add this one to the list. I hear 144th and Murray. What is the, you said it was a street, a pothole in the street?
Yes.
Okay, I will add that as well. If the resident would like follow up, please feel free. You can reach out to me again. The number 708-625-1125 or email JHOUSE @VO VO like village of Dolton.org.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Can the village direct them to put up the fence? There is trash coming onto my property. So I think that's in regards to another previous question.
Okay, now the village cannot impose putting a fence up to anybody who owns private property.
Okay, there's some more concerns about alley behind 143-34 and 143-37, and both homes are empty.
Okay, so that there's their request. They're saying there's the alley is not kept. Am I hearing that correct?
Yeah, it just says concerns about the alley behind those two properties.
Okay, I'll add that on to the list. I got 154th in Greenwood, 149th in Grant, 144th in Murray, and 143rd in Ann.
Yes, 143-34 and 143-37.
Got it.
Okay. It's a retired cop stay across the street from me and her son keep poking at my guests, then call the police when words get exchanged purposely so that the village can make me move.
I'm trying to receive that in a manner of a court, something that I could respond to and be helpful. So can you repeat that or?
Okay, it is citizen address. It says it's a retired cop stay across the street from me and her son keep poking at my guests, then call the police when words get exchanged purposely so that the village can make me move.
My suggestion would be if somebody is instigating, then the first thing that the resident should do would be to reach out to the police proactively so that the instigator does not get the upper hand in the phone call.
Okay. Will the village address the poorly illuminated street light? ComEd stated the village was responsible for changing the street light from the more illuminating to what we have now.
That would have to fall into a comprehensive plan in terms of looking at the lighting that we do have, how much it would cost to repair it and fix it. So I know the intention, of course, we want to have as much light as possible and safe streets. So that would be something we would have to do overall or come up with a plan to do. But so we do want to have the safest thing. If there's a particular area that the resident is concerned about the lighting, I would suggest putting that information in or reaching out to Public Works so that way we can look at the lighting in that area as maybe a priority and while we're looking at the overall condition of the village lighting.
Okay. How to report, check all water hydrants to see if work and paint.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
It says how to report, check all water hydrant to see if work and paint.
How do you report fire hydrants? That's how I'm gonna hear that. Deputy Chief Rush, I see you popped up. What's the easiest way for them to get in touch with your team?
Well, actually, that information would be fed into the Public Works, and they'll back brief it to the fire department. But typically, the fire department does a process every fall where we check hydrants for their functionality.
Okay.
But if a particular resident has something specific right now, they can feed it through Public Works, and we'll get the information.
Okay, so report that through Public Works. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, next citizen address, it says, congratulations to everyone. Will you guys consider having a meet and greet on a Saturday or after 5 p.m.?
Derek?
Can I? Hey. Can I respond to that question?
I didn't hear the whole question. You heard it?
Yeah, it asks, can we have a meet and greet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, please feel free to respond.
Okay. Yes, guys, we can have a meet and greet. We can do one this Saturday, actually. I contact all the trustees. Jason's here now, so I'll inbox Kiana, Brittany, and also Allison, and we can set it up this weekend. Hopefully, and the village put it up on the Facebook, YouTube / website for you guys. Otherwise, you can go on my Facebook page on the Tiffany Henyard to get the date. Well, you got the date, the time. So, Jason, you got a time you thinking about? 12, 1?
The weekend, I'm flexible. You pick it, I'll be there.
Okay, so we'll set it up, guys, and we'll post it on my Facebook page.
If I can too, Trustee, we got our current board members just for their clarity. If they want to chime in too, I think it'd be nice if everybody can be present if possible. So this weekend, if anybody else has a comment, but it seems like we can move forward with that. It'll be something good for residents.
10-4.
All right, next. Instead of fireworks, can we do something to clean up all of the trash in the village? Personally, I think fireworks are a bad idea in the high crime, out of control environments we're in.
That comment is received. For a comment, Trustee Henry, did you have any comment to that, or I can respond?
I understand the individual's concern. We are working on the crime. We actually have a plan for that as well. But due to the pandemic and everything that's going on, we still need to have festivities within our village to be normal. We can't let crime deter anything that we have planned for our seniors, our youth, or anybody moving forward. So I would hope they will have a change of heart and attend the fireworks show. So do South Holland, like Chief Mobley just stated. Their crime is the same as ours, but yet they still have a fireworks show. They still do things to engage community, and we will continue to do the same. Thank you for your concern.
Thank you for that. And I would kind of similarly say I don't view it as either or. I do think we should be able to have a combination of both, but we do want to make sure that crime is under control as well.
Okay, next is, can someone come out and clean the alley at 145 Minerva? Baby beds, trash, and toilets.
Okay, I got 145th and Minerva added on to my request sending over to Public Works. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 6 locations.
All right, next. Why don't the officials of Dolton have access to the social media pages?
Well, I don't let any other elected official chime in. As one myself, I do not want I don't want to have direct access where I have the login and sign-ons, but I do anticipate or hope that the communications department will respond to and post anything that an elected official would like to have put into place or put on the channel, access channel. So there's been some back and forth over the past months of things that could or couldn't, and we have to look forward to what we have moving forward, that our communications department will post everything that elected officials issue.
Okay. The scooters and mini bike riders have increased. And what can be done? More riders each week.
I know we had a comment about that. I want to say 1 or 2 board meetings ago. Chief Mobley, can you speak to what can and cannot be done with people riding on the scooters?
Yes. If you see anyone riding scooters or ATVs or any vehicles on the sidewalk or recklessly, give the police department a call. Well, the dispatch, which is 911. If you don't think it's that big of an emergency, you can call 708-201-3240. 708-201-3240. And then once the police arrive on the scene, they will be ticketed and treated like any other driver that's driving any type of motor vehicle. If they don't have the proper licensing, the vehicle can be towed and impounded.
Okay, next question. I submitted an application for speed bumps on LaSalle. Do you know when they will be put down? You're on mute, trustee.
Thank you very much. Yeah, at this time, I cannot say when speed bumps will be put down. The program has been halted through the winter months. As I understand it, the intention was that it would be resumed in the spring. We have new administration coming in. So as they come in, working through a process of what will be approved and making sure that residents are communicated to, so that way you have a realistic idea of the status of the application has to be a priority.
Okay. How will Dolton be enforcing ordinance about illegal fireworks that have been a horrible, dangerous problem in Dolton?
When fireworks are done, they should be called into the police department. I know Chief Mobley, you've done a lot around that. If you can kind of speak to the enforcement dealing with fireworks.
Yeah, in the past, if we get fireworks call, as you know, during the 4th weekend, it's fireworks going on throughout the community. So the officers are constantly responding to fireworks calls as the regular calls of service that come in. But we have ticketed people for the ordinance violation and confiscated fireworks. As you know, if they see us coming, sometimes they'll scatter and they'll come back afterwards. But we have ticketed and confiscated fireworks.
Okay. I think this is a rephrase of an earlier question. It says, is qualified immunity for the police department in Dolton in the contract of the police union, or does the administration have a say-so in this?
Okay, Chief Mobley, are you
okay with? That was the question for the immunity question, Derek?
Yeah, it says, is qualified immunity for the police department in Dolton in the contract of the police union, or does the administration have a say-so in this?
Immunity, that's something like when you're a sworn officer, that's per state statute. So it could be in the union, but that supersedes your village and the union. That's a state statute that law enforcement officers and local body government have immunity certifications in certain things, as long as it's not violating constitutional rights. At that time, if it's deemed that you're doing that, then you go to court and stand before a judge and jury like any other individual. But that's through the state statute.
Okay, Chief, if I can, when I hear state statute, I just as a further add-on, that will mean your state representatives and your state senators are the people who impact state statutes. I mean, of course, not the ones that are in place, but if there's amendments to be done, you want to pose those questions to your state reps and your state senator.
Correct. Yeah, I was just answering that it's not controlled by the village or the union. It's through your state legislators.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Will additional police be a front runner for the new administration?
You say, will additional police be
a front runner for the new administration?
I think there's many priorities, but additional police is definitely on the plate. I can't indicate what will be priority 1, 2, or 3. I think that's some of the things that the new mayor-elect will be laying out in a 90-day plan.
Okay. It's illegal to cut people water off without notice. You don't send nothing, not even a bill.
So the water should not be cut off without any notice. The bill should be coming out. If that's an instance that you're running into, I would suggest contacting our village administrator and the water department to have that corrected. If that's not corrected, please escalate that either with a phone call or email to anyone on the board that can assist you with that further.
Okay, somebody say, why is my question about streetlights being skipped over? But I don't know if I saw that. And then later they said, we had illuminating lights. Why was it changed to less illuminating?
I'm not familiar with the type of light being changed, so I'm not in a position to answer the question at this moment.
Okay, here's another one. Is there an ordinance regarding elected officials being indebted to the village?
There's no ordinance about elected officials being indebted to the village. However, I would say that all elected officials should make sure that they pay any bills owed to the village.
Okay. What's the rules and regulation to parking on a vacant lot that is privately owned? Basically, I'm asking, if I park on the lot, can I be ticketed or towed by the village?
For parking, Chief Mobley, do you have can you help me out with that one?
They're asking, can they park on a private lot?
What's the rules and regulations to parking on a vacant lot that is privately owned?
Well, that could vary because we have towed vehicles off of private property. Everything is within the village of Dolton first and foremost. And if we get a call for it, most of the time when the vehicle's towed is because we've gotten a call to tow. It's very seldom, and I'm not going to say it hasn't been done, it's very seldom that you're just going to tow a car off of an open lot unless someone calls on it.
Okay. Next says, please address the issue of illegal fireworks because it has not been answered.
Well, the response for illegal fireworks is if you hear fireworks being shot, obviously we know they should not be. Please call the police department. The police chief did outline what steps they take when they are called. So the first step, of course, is notification to our police department.
Okay, next, I like the idea of a village cleanup of trash. Vacant lot behind 15012 Minerva has overgrown weeds and trash.
Can you repeat that address one more time for me, please?
15012 Minerva.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll add that to the list.
Can there be dedicated funds to overhaul village cleanup from the E-Way all the way to King Drive. There is a lot of trash. Bad look for the village.
So an answer, yes, there can be dedicated funds. Anytime you dedicate funds to one project, you're removing funds that can be used for other items. So when we come into the budgeting period, those are the things that we discuss is what items are the priority and how do we make it happen? And we do the best we can with the money that's in there. Try to work on being more efficient so that we're not wasteful with the tax dollars.
Okay, this one says the reader didn't address 145 Minerva odd numbers, trash and alley. But do you have 145 Minerva?
I got, just for a repeat, yes, I do have 145th in Minerva. A quick summary, I have a 154th in Greenwood, 149th in Grant, 144th in Murray, 143rd in Ann, 145th Minerva, 150th in Minerva.
Okay. Here's another citizen address. So the TR Henyard says, we can't do anything for seniors or activities, so why are we having a big bash in the park with all the COVID still spreading? Why?
I don't know if I heard anything about we can't do anything for the seniors, but can you repeat the question? I think Trustee Henyard, you may want to, you may have a response for it.
Okay.
What was the question one more time, please, sir?
So the TR, I'm assuming Trustee Henyard says, we can't do anything for seniors or activities. So why are we having a big bash in the park with all the COVID still spreading?
Okay, I did not say that we are not doing anything for seniors or youth. Maybe they misheard, and I said the reason for it is to do things for the seniors and the youth. And due to COVID, they have a COVID plan, which we're going to lay out at the next board meeting as relates to coming out and enjoying yourself in a safe environment. You won't be able to utilize the bleachers. You will bring a lawn chair and sit and scatter throughout the football field like you would do at any other event with your family and loved ones. Every town is having their scheduled fireworks show, and I was just bringing that back to Dolton because residents have asked for that over my 8 years here. They've been asking, and they still do want it. So I just thought that was a good break the ice moment to show unity amongst community. So that's the reason.
Thank you.
Any chance of reinstating the electronic recycle program drop off?
I'm sure that was something we would like to do. I know there were some challenges that they ran into which prevented us from continuing to do it. I think it's having somewhere that the village can properly haul it off to. So we will need to identify somewhere that as a village we can dispose of it and that can be reintroduced.
Okay, the next question is, when will our water bills get wiped out?
I don't anticipate any water bills being wiped out, so I would not expect that to happen.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I didn't catch. Was this a question for me or I missed it? I'm sorry.
No, the question is, when will the water bills be wiped out? My response was, I do not expect that water bills will be wiped out, so I would not expect that as any resident.
Okay, this one says, Trustee Mayor-elect Henyard, will all department heads under your command be up for review replacement?
I'm gonna answer to the best of my knowledge of what I think you're asking. I'm assuming you're asking me, will everybody have evaluations throughout their year? And then they have an annual review with myself. Anybody can be replaced if they're not doing what the residents want. And that means services, making sure that they getting garbage picked up, hose filled, tree trim, things of that nature. So with that being said, yes, we will have a review, and then we will have a 90-day review as well.
Okay. When will the village tow vehicles from a private lot who covers the cost? Owner of private property should have vehicles towed.
Private property, well, the village is not responsible for private property. I think as the chief mentioned, they would come out if somebody calls us, but in general, the village does not go out looking for people parking on private property. So Chief Mobley, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was talking to one of the officers. What did you say, trustee? Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, okay. No, I just didn't know if you had anything to add. There was a question about towing on private property as well, but I think we pretty much covered it. So if you had any additions, I would have asked you to chime in.
I actually missed the question. I had an officer right here in front of me.
Oh, no, that's fine. Quite
Okay.
all right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll go to the next question, please.
Okay, I think this is in reference to a previous question. It says, yes, it's a lot next door to my house that's vacant. My lawyer has been trying to reach the owner since I have been unable to get any assistance from the village. Taxes delinquent, owner MIA. So that might be in regard to some trash or something.
Okay. Did they give a address or?
No, that was just the next question.
Okay, yeah. If there's a request that they're having, I would ask they do a follow up in the chat box, or they can also come into Village Hall and seek the assistance that we can provide.
Okay, here's another question. In reference to the previous question, didn't Henyard campaign on saying she was wiping water bills out?
I don't believe Trustee Henyard ever said she would be wiping water bills out or campaigning on that. I think I would remember that. So no, I don't think there was anything about wiping out water bills. Trustee Henyard, do you have any comments about wiping out water bills?
I think y'all asked me this question at the last board meeting. So as it relates to seniors that need help with their water bills, I am going to consider looking at their water bills and figuring out a way to either advocate for money for them, or I guess in your terms, wipe out their water bills. But I'm not going to zero out anybody's water bill, so we're clear on that. If you owe the bill, you need to pay the bill. If I can give assistance as it relates to my resources to help anyone pay their bill, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, next question. Will you guys consider hiring youth for cleanup projects?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I guess you guys want me to get away the 90-day plan. I actually have a plan to hire youth for several different.
If you have a...
What was that? Hello?
No, it's just you.
Oh, okay. I have a plan for the youth as it relates to the summer coming up. We're going to have them cutting grass. We're going to have something for every season actually for the youth. And yes, I am advocating for funds for them currently now. I have two things that haven't been secured as of yet, but I have an answer by the time my 90-day plan comes out. You will know exactly where we're getting money from, how many people we can hire. But yes, we do have a plan to employ the youth for this summer.
Okay, I think this next question goes along with that. It says, can we form and put use to the field house in Dolton Park and have summer programs for the children?
Well, that's the great thing about your wonderful new mayor. I have collab with Cleo over at Park District, and also Kyle, who just won his seat. He's the youngest youth commissioner at the Park District, and he is putting a plan together currently with Cleo to hire youth and put a plan with myself to collab on how we go about making sure our youth come off the streets and have something to do for the duration of this year, and mentoring programs as well.
Okay, so this last one says, my response to the vacant lot was regarding parking on a vacant lot privately owned.
I'm still struggling to pull a question out of that I can respond to.
Okay, well, that's the last thing.
That's the last one on there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hearing that, I want to ask if I can get a motion to adjourn from the board.
A motion.
Oh, my bad, Andrew.
Okay, I heard a motion from Trustee Holmes, and who was the second?
Trustee Brown.
And Trustee Brown second. So motion and seconded. If I can ask Clerk Dugan, will you do a roll call, please?
And the motion adjourned by Trustee Holmes, second by Trustee Brown. Trustee Denton,
Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
and
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay, got you. And I'm looking at my computer, it's not cooperating, so I'm going to look at my watch. I still have one, and I'm looking at 8:21 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good evening.